Welcome. So, in the lecture series of automation and robotics, we will today discuss on robot manipulator kinematics. Kinematics is basically it is involving the motion of the bodies without considering the cause or without considering its force, right? So we can say that the analytical study of the geometry of motion of a mechanism with respect to a fixed reference coordinate system and without regard to the forces or movements that cause the motion. So as we know that the robot manipulators move across a predefined path that is created with the help of end effector and orientation of points. So in a robot manipulator, which is generally called as a human arm, brain and heart are being copied, and it is also known as a 3H robot manipulator, which moves across a predefined path which is created with the help of teach pendant and orientation of points. So this path is then traced by the end effector in the space. So the working reason of the Cartesian space is a function of time, and these robots or industrial robots are basically it's a rigid body system called links that are connected through the kinematic joints. So kinematic joints means if there are relative motion between the two links, then it is called as kinematic joints. So these joints can be of many type, as I discussed already, that which allow some kind of relative motion between the two links. These links connected with the help of kinematic joints and termed as kinematic chain. These kinematic chain can be open and closed, or sometimes it is branched. So in the open kinematic chain, the position and orientation of the output point is determined by the series of transformation of the joints connecting to the forward path from input link to the output point. Therefore, in order to control the program of a robot, control and program of a robot, we must have knowledge of both its spatial arrangement and a means of reference to the environment. So purpose is basically where we have to move the robot. This is our requirement, and on the basis of this requirement we have to design the kinematic chain, right? Maybe it's maybe open chain, or it may be a closed chain. Now, if we talk about the open chain manipulator kinematics, we can see that this is the arrangement of a open chain mechanism where the base is this is a fixed base and the other links are movable in the space. So if we talk about the mechanics of this manipulator, it can be represented as a kinematic chain of rigid bodies, because links are considered as a rigid body, or precisely you can say that more than it is a resistance body, right? Because there is no existence of the rigid body in this consideration, but we can say that it is a resistance body, and resistant bodies are connected by revolute or prismatic joint. So these joint may be either revolute joint or it may be prismatic joints. So you can see here that the one end of the chain is fixed here or constrained to the base, right, while the end effector, which is clamped here, is mounted to the other end of the chain. The link 1 is fixed here with the base, and the last link is connected to the end effector, right? So mainly we have to trace the path of the end effector in the space and analyze the motion of the end effector with respect to its base, right? So we can also find out the joint position, each joint position with respect to base, or you can find out the link orientations with respect to its base. So this can be calculated, or the motion analysis, complete motion analysis comes into picture of the kinematics. So the resulting motion is obtained by composition of the elementary motions of each link with respect to the previous one. As I said that if you want to calculate the motion of link 3, we can calculate with respect to link 2 or with respect to link 1. But if you want to know the link position 2, we have to find out first the position of the link 1. So we can obtain here the Cartesian coordinates of each and every joint, so that you can find out the position of link, any link or any joint or any axis in a space, right? So this analysis comes into picture of the kinematics. Okay, as I told you that as compared to the open kinematic chain, the closed kinematic chain analysis is much more complicated or difficult, right? Because if you can consider here, this is a one kinematic chain, this is another kinematic chain, and this is a third kinematic chain, and three different kinematic chains connected with the help of a single circular link, right? So you can see that the motion of one chain is constrained by the motion of the second link or second chain, and also with the third chain, right? Because in the previous case where the end link can move in the space freely, now this is not possible in the case of the closed kinematic chain. So therefore the analysis is also complicated, or it may take some time, right? So you can say that analysis has to take into account statistic constraint from other links, etc. Synthesis of closed kinematic mechanism is very difficult, because the open kinematic chain has a less constraint, whereas in the case of the closed kinematic chain is having a more complicated. For example, if you want to take a 4-bar chain and want to synthesize, right, you will have the number of parameters, and if you want to calculate the position of or the analysis of the one or two link, you should know the position of the last link also. Or if you want to calculate the output link position, you should know the position of the input link. So similarly, the position analysis is difficult. Similarly, at the same time, if you want to synthesize the mechanism, this is much more difficult. And another thing is, as you increase the number of links, for example, if you take the 5 link, the degree of freedom will be increases from 1 to 2. Or simultaneously, if you increase the number of links in the mechanism, for example 6-bar link, you will find out the degree of freedom, and this degree of freedom needs to be considered while synthesize a mechanism. So this problem may have multiple solutions, and you have to find out the optimum one, and depending upon the type of chain. So here, as I said, that the closed kinematic chain is more complicated as compared to the open kinematic chain for the analysis as well as for the synthesis purpose. Okay, so here basically we have to divide this kinematics into two parts, mainly forward or direct kinematics, and second is inverse kinematics. So let us just try to understand that what is the difference between the you can say that the difference between the forward kinematics and inward kinematics means, when you just take a open kinematic chain here, right? So if you give the joint angles, say theta 1, theta 2 and theta t, and define the joint variables, right, means the link length can also define here, the theta 1, theta 2 are the joint variable, so that you can find out the position of the end factor in the space. If you know the value of theta 1, theta 2 and theta 3, okay, you can easily calculate the x, y and theta coordinate of this end factor. Now this is known as the forward kinematics. So means if you know the joint variables, you can find out the end position of the end factor. So can find out x, y, z coordinate of the end factor, right? Or x, y and theta angle to define the position of the end effector. It means we have to simply calculate the position of the end effector in a Cartesian coordinate x and y. So by giving the input angles theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, and you can find out this. Now here you can do a small mathematical relationship, means for example you can find out here the joint, you can say that this joint you can take, say joint 1, and if you want to define here the position of Cartesian coordinate of link 1 in a you have to define here x1 and y1, right? So x1 can be calculated, this is equals to L1 cos theta, right? Whereas the y1 can be calculated, vertical distance from the x-axis can be calculated L1 sin theta 1, right? And so on. If you want to define the position of this joint into the space, you can find out here x2 and y2 coordinate, but these will be defined with the reference of x1 and y1 coordinate, or in the combination of L1 and L2 distances. So since you know that x1 coordinate and y1 coordinate, you just take here the positive or negative sign. So we can take here further this distance, it means the horizontal distance. If you draw project here and find out the horizontal distance, you can find out here x1 plus L2 cos theta 2, and its vertical distance can be measured. This is a y1 plus L2 sine theta 2, and so on. You can find out further here this x3 and y3 and so on. If there are number of links, you can find out finally the position of the last link in the space, right? Now this is known as the forward kinematics. Whereas the inverse kinematics or reverse kinematics is slightly different. You know the position, it means the target point is given, right? It means if suppose the position and orientation of the output point is defined, then the determining the transformation of each connecting joints is called as inverse kinematics. Means you have to find out first decide the position of the end effector, and then you calculate theta 3 and theta 2 and theta 1. Now this is known as the inverse kinematics, right? So if the end position is given, you have to calculate the joint variable. Now this is called as the inverse kinematics. So we can say that for performing the smooth operation, it is required to compute first all the important points in the Cartesian coordinate to define the analysis of the robot. So this is basically divided into forward and reverse kinematics, and you should know that as compared to forward kinematics, reverse kinematics is slightly complicated, right, and having a multiple solutions. I will discuss later on that how it is called as, because the forward kinematics is basically, it is a method that is related to develop relationship between robot joint angle and the final location of the end effector, right? The position of the end effector is finally determined on the basis of point and the location along with the joint angles. So here that the length and joint angles, these are the parameters which needs to be defined to define the forward kinematics of the robot, right? So if we go for the manipulator kinematics, it is the analysis of motion that the kinematic parameters without considering the forces, torque that cause the motion. And if a robot is to perform a specific task, the location and end effector orientation with respect to the base should be find out first. This is a very important, and so that the configuration can be determined with the help of you can say that some variables that can be controlled by the robot joint motion. So it is necessary to find the relations between these two sets. It means you have to calculate first the angle and then decide the link length, and this is basically, you know, that it is easily calculated in the case of the forward kinematics and reverse kinematics. Now just try to understand that what is the need, what is the requirement of calculation of these two, right? A robot is given, you have to just play with robot by its normal programming, but what happening, the functioning of the robot, or you can say if you are talking about the accuracy or precision motion of the robot, it is necessary to calculate the kinematics of the robot. Kinematic analysis is important to decide the smooth operations, whether your robot will work properly or not. You have to first analyze it. Now there are some softwares which are also available where you can find out the motion of the robot manipulators. Okay, so if you are talking about the dynamics portion, this is again basically here we have to consider the force, torques or movements, right? So This is also divided into the forward and inverse dynamics. So inverse dynamics means we have to find joint torques, forces for given joint motions, and end effector moment forces. Means how much force or torque is required reach the end effector. Or suppose this is a trajectory, and if you want to if you draw the trajectory of the end effector, right, we should know that how much torque is applied at each joint. Suppose this is a joint 1 and this is a joint 2. Now what load, or you can say that what torque distribution should be placed here, that how much torque should be applied at joint 1 and what torque is should be applied for joint 2 to reach this end effector at this place, right? So this is basically the calculation which is entirely reverse. It means the dynamics is the inverse dynamics, right? To reach this point we have to calculate the joint torque. Now in the case of the forward or direct kinematics, we have to find the end effector motion for the known joint forces. Means the joint forces are given and you have calculate the position of the end effector, right? So this is just opposite to each other. Means in the case of inverse dynamics, the joint position is given, you have to calculate the joint torque or moments, whereas the joint moments or torques are given. Now you can find out the position of the end effector of the robot in the space, right? So suppose E is the point, right? You can calculate the point position in the space, and you can just move this manipulator or this end effector into the space and trace its trajectory. So I want to develop this motion of the end effector into the space. Maybe it may be kind of a welding operation or any kind of painting operation. Now suppose if you know that this is the predefined position of the end effector, now accordingly, that what torque is required at joint V1, what torque is needed at for joint uh, 2 or 1, like this. Okay, so these calculations are done in the inverse and forward dynamics. So if we try to conclude that these all analysis, kinematic analysis is divided into forward kinematics, inverse kinematics, dynamics is divided into forward dynamics, inverse dynamics. As we know that the robot kinematics is fundamentally a task which is divided into forward and inverse kinematics, and it is forward kinematics is referred to going from the joint space to the world space, means from its base to the, you can say that, end effector, whereas the invert kinematics refers to going from world space to joint space, right? It means the end effector position is given, you have to calculate the joint position. So therefore the position and orientation of the tool frame with respect to the global reference frame is determined by a homogeneous transformation matrix, which has to be developed and we will discuss in the next section. Here let us okay, thank you very